Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to MC Webinars. It's great that you managed to log in on a nice cold wintry day. So yeah, today we're going to be discussing student engagement and how LMI can help you with that. So we're going to answer any questions at the end of the presentation. So if you'd like to put your questions into the question box on your control panel, we can follow up on those afterwards. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce MZ's Business Development Manager for Further Education, Carla Archibald, who's going to present this webinar today. So over to you, Carla.
Thanks, Debbie, and again, thanks for joining us, guys. I know quite a lot of colleges are closed this afternoon, so it's good that you got the chance to join us. As Debbie said, my name's Carla Archibald. I am the Business Development Manager for FE at MZ. So this afternoon, we will be looking at 5 steps to better student engagement using labour market insight. And this follows on quite nicely from our how-to guide for curriculum planning. So we've got 5 steps to better curriculum alignment using labour market insight as well. You can get a copy of this, so just get in contact with us if you want. We've got a PDF and a recording of the last webinar. So in this afternoon session, we'll introduce MZ, give you a bit of an overview of who we are, what we do, and how our mission aligns to yours. We'll then talk about why you need to find new ways to promote your offer. So what's driving this policy and kind of the state of the sector at the minute. We'll explore the 5 steps to better student engagement, which we've come up with. 5 steps that we believe helping labour market insight can help you better engage your students. And then a bit of a summary, and we'll look at some practical examples of how our colleges are already doing this. Okay, so current climate of the FE sector, we know that attracting and retaining students has never been more important. With increasing competition and funding cuts, it means resources are tighter than ever. So demonstrating to young people in your area why they should enrol in your institution is critical to your success. So it's our aim to give you a detailed insight into your local economy to enable you to fulfil this mission, which will also allow you to meet Ofsted requirements and outcomes and success measures, beat your competition, and ensure that you're making great use of public funds. So having worked with over 100 colleges in the FE sector, we understand how difficult it is to effectively create a clear career vision for young people by linking the courses that you offer to local job opportunities. That's why we provide detailed, robust and complete labour market data to help people make better decisions relating to the world of work. And you'll see that we are working with section. We predominantly work with FE colleges, but we also do work in the economic development space and the employment space as well. So just a bit of an overview to MZ data. MZ data is made up of historic granular data from publicly available government data sets such as NOMIS and Office for National Statistics. From each of these data sets and a number of smaller data sets such as BRES, Annual Business Inquiry and the Labour Force Survey, we take the strengths of these data sets and discard the weaknesses. We then have a team of data engineers and economists who identify historic trends and forecast employment projections up to 2024 currently. So these are at 4-digit SIC and SOC code, and we go down to local authority level. So really, really granular data on historic trends and future projections. Okay. So why do colleges need to find new ways to promote their offer then? So funding cuts mean that demonstrating to young people in your area why they should enrol in your institution is vital to your success. You need learners through the door. But your competitors have also been affected, so they are too having to up their game when it comes to marketing their institution as the place to go. But it's not simply a case of persuading people of the benefits of a college education, but more why they should come to your institution rather than the colleges down the road. So what does success look like for your organisation? and what benefits will you see from a clear marketing message then? So if your marketing message can really hone in on the benefits that a college can bring to its potential students, then as a result, you're more likely to see an increase in recruitment, a more motivated student body, as you've created a clear career vision for that learner, and in turn, this means a higher retention rate. But we're also seeing a focus on the importance of careers education from government. And there's a couple of current policy announcements, such as the career strategy and the Gatsby benchmarks. So the career strategy has been put in place to ensure that every school and college has a dedicated careers lead who can give up-to-date information on the jobs market and help young people make informed decisions about their future. The Careers and Enterprise Company are also having an extended role in supporting schools and colleges in meeting the 8 benchmarks out by the Gatsby Foundation. And these 8 benchmarks are predominantly around good careers advice. So just to have a look at these 8 benchmarks then. So colleges and schools have been asked to provide a stable careers programme, learning from career and labour market information, addressing the needs of each student, linking curriculum learning to careers, and then encounters of employers and employees, experiences of workplaces, personal guidance, and encounters with further and higher education. So not just employment kind of pathways, but also higher education. And I've underlined and kind of made bold the 2 that stand out to us from an economic modelling and a kind of labour market data point of view. So learning from careers and labour market information and linking curriculum learning to careers. So hopefully we'll be able to explore these in a little bit more detail, and you'll see how labour market data or labour market insight can help support these initiatives. So we've come up with 5 steps then to engage students better through the use of labour market data. We believe that by understanding your core product and marketing this to learners by linking your offer to the careers that they train for, you'll be able to confidently promote your curriculum and give learners local insight on the careers in your area by doing so. So all this in turn will help you fulfil your overall mission whilst beating competition and maximising your recruitment activities. Okay, so let's have a look at step 1 then. So in marketing terms, a product can be broken up into 3 different types: the actual, the augmented, and the core product. So the actual product is the physical product or the basic service that you're offering. The augmented products are the add-ons or the extras that come with the product or service. And the core product is the real need that the customer has in buying that product or service, and also the main benefit that they get from that. So let's have a look at an example of that then. So if we look at an example of a laptop, this kind of explains that really, really well. So the actual product is a laptop itself, including all the technical specifications that come with it. But the augmented product is any extra benefits that come with purchasing it. And this might be the warranty or a discount on further products, either in the same range or from the same company or shop. But the core product is the customer's perception of how that laptop will help them improve their life. So will having this product solve the problems or challenges that they need it to, and will it also get me to where I want to be? So if we look at that then in the context of your actual college, what's the actual augmented and core product that you're offering? So we see the actual product as the courses that you offer and the qualifications attached to them. The augmented product is the student experience, or maybe the things that you offer around that, the learner journey or student discounts on products or local companies or businesses, for example. But the core product is not your courses or the experience in gaining the qualification, but actually where the courses can take those people who do them. So if we kind of remember that throughout the rest of the presentation, then we'll see how to be able to clearly market your courses, you need to understand the core product. Okay, so We know that young people go to college not for the actual course as such, but because they believe that it will give them greater employment opportunities at the end of it. However, we see lots and lots of colleges that tend to market themselves on the basis of their courses rather than where that course takes them or might take them. But if young people go to college because they think that by doing a course it will give them better employment opportunities at the end of it, why don't we focus market efforts? Why don't we focus your marketing efforts on the link between the courses that you offer and the careers that they lead to? So this brings us on to step 2, linking your courses to careers. So that as a whole sounds like a huge task, especially with limited resources. So where do you even begin to start to do this? How do you link every single course that you offer to all of the careers that they train for? So surely you'd need a detailed understanding of how your courses actually relate to careers. So what course do you offer, and what's the group of occupations that link to that course or qualification? And then you'd also need the ability to carry out the exercise of mapping each of the courses to careers. So this is where MD come in then. So we've developed a methodology which allows us to map all courses across the FE sector, so every qualification in the Ofqual register, to the occupations that they typically train for. And every occupation is kind of classified by a SOC code. So every Ofqual qualification mapped directly to a SOC code, and that's at 4-digit. We've also integrated this into our tools, into our data tools and software, which means we can map all college curriculum to careers at both a national and local level. And we'll come back to that, but national and local level is really, really important. So what does this mean that colleges can do? So you're able to quickly and simply make the link between the courses you offer and the potential careers that they train for, both locally and nationally. And you can also promote the college's core product. So you're showing young people how coming to your college can lead them into employment in a sustainable career locally. So let's have a look at this in a bit more detail. So we take a course, so a single course or qualification, and we look at what occupations this route typically leads to. From that, we can identify a number of single occupations, and we can bring in wage and employment data to explore questions such as how much can I earn and how many jobs are there in my region. So this brings us on to step 3. So step 3 gives learners insight on local careers, looks at taking that mapping process and then promoting that to learners to give them the insight into the jobs in the local area. So when considering a career, we need to understand what young people want to know in order to give them the right information. And information in this sense is labour market data. So young people often have questions such as, are there likely to be any jobs at the end of my training? How much can I expect to earn in this occupation? What other career opportunities will this give me? So similar occupations. And what transferable skills will I learn? So what labour market data does is give these young people a realistic view of careers in their region. We can start to look at things such as job demand, salary expectations, and other similar careers. So not only does this empower people with the careers information that they need to make better informed decisions, but it also enhances the college's own brand and image, because you can start to promote your college as the place to be for learners to come to, for them to be able to get a job afterwards. So we'll just have a look at a couple of examples. So what I've done here is just take a generic creative and digital media course or qualification, and I've pulled data for the current year in the West Midlands Government Office region. So that's quite a large area, but for example's sake, I've chosen that region. As we look at different examples later on, we'll be able to see how you could build a bespoke region. So the data that you're allowed to, the data that you can kind of get hold of and give to learners can be specific to your own region. Okay. And this will obviously go down to county and local authority level. So we've chosen 3 occupations then that this course would typically train for. So web design and development professionals, TV, video and audio engineers, and photographers and broadcasting operators. So as a web design and development professional in the West Midlands Government Office region, their annual openings of 105. So that's new job growth, but also retirement and what we call job churn. And they will earn a median hourly wage of £10.19. We've also chosen the occupation of TV, video and audio engineers. So compared to web design and development professionals, we're only seeing an annual opening of 18. So the job demand is actually not anywhere as high as web developers, but the median hourly wage is significantly higher at £40.54. So you can start to see how giving learners this type of insight can help them make a more informed career choice on completing or thinking about a course. And then if we look at photographers and broadcasting operators, highest annual openings of the 3 occupations, and they're seeing a median hourly wage of £13.07. So if we look at another example then, so I've just chosen a construction qualification or course, and we're using the same government office region of West Midlands. So you've got electricians and electrical fitters, bricklayers and masons, and carpenters and joiners. And then that also shows you as well the wide range of occupations from a particular course. So it should help learners understand what construction or what doing a construction course will actually help them gain. Do they want to be an electrician or do they want to be a carpenter? So electricians are seeing an annual opening of 503 jobs in the area with a median hourly wage of £13.95. Bricklayers and masons, significantly lower annual openings at 114, median hourly wage of £12.08. And then carpenters and joiners, annual openings of 414 and a median hourly wage of £11.70. So just to expand on that point then, we've looked at job demand and earnings potential, but learners need to have a really clear understanding of entry-level wage, median wage and high-end wage. They want to be able to know what they're going to earn when they first join that occupation or employment in that field, but they also want aspirational wages. So they want to know what they can potentially earn at the top end. And this is all specific to local. So this would be very, very different. Wages in London for a plumber or electrician, for example, would be very different to Liverpool City region. So it's really, really crucial that you're giving learners really good quality data on their local level rather than generic national wage data. And they also want to know what kind of transferable skills will they learn. So we have a database called the ONET database, which is a skills and competencies database. So that pulls out key knowledge and skills gained in each occupation that can help the learners start to think about what transferable skills they'll gain and what other careers or similar careers they can use this in. Okay. So we've looked at 2 examples of careers related to courses that a college would offer and the associated annual job openings and the median wage. We've then looked at transferable skills and knowledge they'll gain and kind of explored the entry level to highly experienced wage. So how do we bring that course mapping and the labour market data together to promote your curriculum to existing and potential learners? The most obvious place to start as the hub of all your marketing activities is obviously your website. And there's 2 ways in which you can do this. So course and careers information could be displayed on a standalone portal with learners being directed onto it from either your main website or your internal website. So there's a few different ways you could do this, but it's all branded in college colours and logos, and it's an extension of your website. Or you can go for an API version, which allows you to integrate the same data, so all the data packets that we've looked at, into your digital platforms, such as website. So we're going to have a look at a couple of examples of this. So this is City of Liverpool College's career coach site. So as you see, all branded in the college colours and logos. You can either have a link on your homepage or on various different course pages, but the idea is the learners can type in an occupation that they want. So in this case, they've chosen an aircraft maintenance or related tradesman. You've got typical career information, and you can see in this section, it's a bespoke region. So for every single site, it will be a bespoke region. So I think Liverpool College use the City of Liverpool LEP region. So a combination of lots of different local authority areas that they serve. And that gives the learners a really good, kind of a really thorough view of the local labour market, because you're thinking about kind of wage and employment data from that whole area. So you'd see typical careers information, typical tasks. You'd get pay and employment information. So this graph shows pay based on level of experience and education. So we've got that entry level, median and high end wage, but you'd see the same graph for employment opportunities as well. And then most importantly, you've got similar careers here. And what this slide doesn't show, but what you'll be able to see on any other career coach site, is a list of the courses at the college that the learner would be in, then be able to apply for. So as well as a marketing and recruitment tool, kind of the end goal is them being able to apply for a course at your college, and it can also be used internally for careers advice and guidance. You see at the top here as well, just a side point, there's a careers assessment and CV builder tab as well. We've talked quite a lot about those SOC codes. So the nice thing about the CV builder is it has all of those SOC codes pre-populated. So really easy for existing students to kind of pull out those skills and tasks associated with each job that we highlighted as part of the ONET data, and start to bring this to life in terms of a employability-based CV. So second option we looked at was the API option. So that's taking that portal apart and using these main data packets of labour market data for the local area to enhance website content. So this is an art and design course. You've got the key course information at the top with the inquire or apply now, but then you've got labour market data, so local insight based on future potential careers, new job opportunities, and the average potential and entry level wage. So again, taking that local labour market data and giving it to a learner through website. So Hull College took the launch of their new website as an opportunity to promote their Your Career Starts Here campaign. So they've integrated data into their new website, as we've just seen, and that was part of their whole mission to promote the college as a place for learners to realise their career aspirations. So really good feedback, and there's a nice quote here from Matthew Lilly, who's the head of marketing and communication. He said that the integration of the labour market data into the website had greatly enhanced the promotion of the college's focus on employability and preparing the students for progression into work. They'd also received really positive feedback from their external school partners who use this data for learners to compare different sectors and jobs. And then they're obviously having a full list of courses that they can do at Hull College for that. So a really good example there. On the point of schools engagement, Dundee and Angus College had successfully used labour market insight in their school engagement activities. So they recently held their Future Talent vocational event, where they had 1,000 pupils from 7 local schools in the region, and they were 14 to 15-year-olds from local schools. And they ran a bit of a vocational skills event using the career coach tool to promote this idea of a fun introduction to your career. So another really nice quote here, but basically saying this early engagement meant that the college could start to build relationships with prospective students. And not only were they giving them a better idea of what they wanted to do before they came, they were also much more engaged when they actually enrolled in a course, and they had less chance of dropping out once they got here. So as well as schools engagement and website integration, linking courses to careers in your marketing literature and prospectuses is also a great way of creating a clear career vision for your learners. So here is an example from Greater Brighton Met College. Following the recent merger, Greater Brighton Met launched their Have You Met Your Future campaign. So this was aimed at encouraging young people to think about their futures through a variety of vocational education pathways and training options. Obviously all kind of tailored to what they offered at the college, but the report that they created was aimed at raising awareness of local labour market opportunities, and they pulled through some of that key labour market data from the area. So each report included the top 10 growth professions in the UK and Sussex over the next 5 years. So not just the local area, but also UK. They understand the geography in which they serve, and they know that a lot of their learners will move out of the area. So they wanted to be able to give both local and national employment demand and local insight as well as national insight. They also included top 10 growth industries in the UK and Sussex. So not just steering the learners down specific occupation pathways, but also getting them to think about what industries that certain types of occupations sit within. And then they also included the top 50 highest earning occupations in Sussex. So top 10 highest jobs in the area. Three different, very different ways of presenting the data there, but all really, really helpful. So infographics is another really good way of using local labour market data. This is a little bit different in that Nescol have been using our analyst tool since 2014, but they decided to take that data and create a number of infographics for each of their course areas. So these sit on their website and they detail number of local jobs, expected job growth or decline, salary information, so exactly what we've looked at, and then they've also added a demographic breakdown. So the results have been really impressive. They had over 6,000 number of hits in the first 50 days. Highest number of hits in one day was 350, but they had an average number of 130 hits per day. So Rhonda Fraser, head of marketing at Nescol, said that viewing the statistics show that the infographics have been a great success. But again, more importantly to them was the excellent feedback they've been getting from schools, guidance and career staff. They decided that they were actually going to take this further, and they're now using the infographics in other promotional materials. So just an example of that then. They've chosen 2016 to 2020, so quite a big task. They're not having to do this every year, but really, really nice to see gender breakdown and age breakdown for a sector, so engineering. They've picked out the occupations that sit within this industry. So at the bottom, you can see the highest number of jobs is projected to be in production and maintenance, civil engineering, electricians. So really, really good stats there. And then we're also seeing regional jobs for Aberdeen City and Aberdeenshire. And then you've got that starting average and high-end salary. Really, really nice stuff there. And again, just on everything that we've looked at over the past 4 or 5 slides, the full case studies all on our blog. So if you want to read about these in a bit more detail and have a look at some more of those stats and success stories, do go to our website under the blog section. So this brings us on to the final step then, fulfilling your mission to your students. We've identified the college's core product and understood the importance of marketing this rather than the actual product in step 1. We've explored how we can map courses and careers that they train for, and how we then can give learners the associated local labour market data to make informed career decisions. And then we then looked at how we can promote that through websites, schools engagement teams, marketing literature, various campaigns, and through infographics. So step 5 is all about how this process results in you fulfilling your mission to your students. So what is your mission then? So we kind of touched on this right back at the beginning, but it's to improve the lives of the students who come through your doors. Also to help the employers who rely on and benefit from the skills your college supply, and the community as a whole that you serve in fulfilling local skills gaps and increasing productivity. Essentially, the more knowledge you can give about the career realities of a local economy, the more the learners can make informed decisions about their future, and the more enthused and motivated they'll be throughout the time of study. But this shouldn't be the end of the process. You should give ongoing guidance and support throughout the learner journey to maintain a clear vision for their future. And just to put all this into reality, we've got the last case study of the webinar. Chesterfield College have done exactly this, and their matrix assessment back in 2015 highlighted not only how they were marketing their courses based on local careers, but also how that was helping learners kind of be more motivated, retention rates increase, along with a whole other host of things. So we'll just look at some of that in a bit more detail. So Chesterfield College, just as we've seen, have integrated data into personalised web pages for the students, and they've also mapped courses to local careers and displayed local wage and employment data on those occupations. So they use the standard standalone portal of Career Coach. So one thing that was pulled out as part of their matrix assessment was a particular note was the creation of these web pages. It was highlighted that this was an excellent way to present tailored information to prospective students, including localised labour market data, and one which was seen during the assessment to impress service users and encourage them to explore information further. So really, really positive feedback from the matrix assessment, and just a couple of really nice stats here. So 93% was the percent of students who agreed that the process had given them a clearer idea of where their course would lead to in terms of local job opportunities. So there was a clear link for these students between the course that they were doing and the career that it ended up in. The number of students who dropped out after going through the recruitment process was 5% that year, which was a far higher retention rate than in previous years. So the total application conversion in 2015, which was the year of the study, was 77% for Chesterfield College, which is 10% higher than the national average that year. And the curriculum interview turnout was up by 10% on previous years. And this was because people had become more engaged in the new admissions and recruitment process. So just take a couple of minutes to sum up then, quite a lot of information. You will get a recording of the webinar, and we do have a 5-step PDF guide that goes through this in a bit more detail. So you get that as a follow-up, but just to go over the 5 steps again, step 1 was all about understanding your core product. So your core product's not your course or even the qualifications you gain from those courses, but it's the potential that can be obtained through doing that course. So therefore, colleges need to promote a core product, not their actual product. Step 2 was all about linking your courses to careers. So colleges need a detailed understanding of how their courses actually relate to the careers. And they also need the ability to carry out the exercise of mapping those courses to careers. So MD have developed a methodology which allows us to map all courses across the FE sector to the occupations they typically train for. Step 3 is all about giving learners insight on local careers. So not only showing that link between courses and the careers that they train for, but giving them local insights, so local labour market data on those occupations. So the more knowledge learners are given about these career realities of their local economy, the more likely they are to make informed decisions and the less likely they are to drop out of college. So step 4 was about how we then take this to market. So colleges can promote their organisation as the go-to place for learners to gain a good career on completion of study. And you can do this through presenting the links from their courses to careers, clearly through website and within internal and external outreach teams. And we also looked at how we can do that through marketing collateral as well. So all of this then is kind of a way to fulfill your mission to your students. So learners are more engaged and enthused about the education that they can see directly contributes to their future aspirations. Employers get the skill set they require to fill the positions they have open, and the local economy thrives as the skills gaps are met. So that's all from me on the 5 steps. Just wanted to take this opportunity to plug our conference. So the MZ 2018 conference will be held on Tuesday, the 15th of May. And this year it'll be in Birmingham. So the theme for the conference is people, place and prosperity. And the idea is that we bring together all of the sectors that we work with and kind of explore how we can drive regional skills and growth in challenging times. So there's a link on our website to sign up for this. Most importantly, though, we want to discuss your challenges and hear about kind of the main issues that you're grappling with. So do get in touch with me if you want to discuss anything further, especially in relation to the examples that we shared for customers. My email address and my telephone number are on the screen now. So that's it from me. Debbie, do we have any questions?
I have one question, which I think you might have answered already. It was
that's fine.
It was because it was at the time when you were showing the hourly wages for the students. And the question is, do you think that showing an hourly wage is the best practice? Wouldn't an annual salary look more attractive to learners?
Yeah, absolutely. So for example's sake, we chose the median hourly wage, but if I go back to this slide here, so this is on the Career Coach site. So you'll see there's a little bit of text underneath the how well does it pay section. This breaks that, that gives that a little bit more context. So it gives, for example, aircraft maintenance. The normal pay for aircraft maintenance is £31,044 per year. So you've got an annual salary there. So median hourly wage is what we can go by in terms of using kind of the raw labour market data. But then when we pull this through to a website portal or through an API link onto your website, we're able to break that down into even per month and per hour, but we also give annual wage as well. So I think it's all helpful. We did a City and Guilds combined report showing career aspirations, teens aspirations and actual careers reality. And we understood from that that learners had no real concept of annual wage versus kind of hourly wage. So yeah, really important that you're able to give that in all different aspects.
Great, that's great. Thank you.
Any questions?
No, I think that's it. We did have a query about the slides, but as you've already mentioned, you will be following up with slides. And if anybody wants to find out more or discuss any issues, then they just get hold of you. So that's fantastic. So thank you so much for that, Carla. That was really good. And thank you for the webinar. So hopefully you guys will join us again in our next webinar. So thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.